Hi friends, happy Monday and welcome to the start of another weekly reading vlog. Today was Rockstar Day at work. I wore my new Taylor Swift shirt that my coworker got me. Thank you so much, Amanda. From the concert that I didn't get to go to. I had 2 opportunities to go. Couldn't go to either. Still a little bitter about it, but trying not to get caught up on that. Maybe there'll be another opportunity for me this summer. We'll see. So I just got back from work. We're trying to get our room set up from state testing, and I have detention duty after school this week. So it's a lot, but I'll be very thankful once this week is over. But it's also not as high stress as last week was, even though state testing is very stressful. There's a lot of legality and procedures that you have to follow, and it's 3 days of really awkward pacing around the room. If you're not a teacher, it's really hard to explain what that's like. But after work, I went and got a planner because in my last video, I mentioned that I was feeling very stressed. One of the comments in my last video mentioned brain dumping, and I used to keep a planner pretty religiously, and I've definitely slacked off. I don't really know why. Probably just the busyness made me slack off in keeping up with a planner, which is so counterintuitive, but I got one. It's just this one from Michaels. There weren't many that I liked. This is the Happy Planner, and I like the layout of these, but I never like the covers of them. But this one just says look to the stars. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, Throne of Glass or ACOTAR a little bit. So that's why I went with this one. It's undated because the ones that had dates all started in July, and I need one to start right now. So it's very simple. You've got, your monthly layout, and then you've got your weekly grid. So this is going to help me keep up with theater stuff, with school stuff, with YouTube and Instagram stuff, and very happy. I inserted some clips from one of my favorite restaurants. It's called Poke Stop, and usually I get that on payday, and last week I was so busy I did not go get my payday poke, so I got it today. And I put some clips in here because I just think it's like the cutest little place. And as far as what I'm reading this week, we have got Emily Henry's Happy Place. I started this last night. I read 2 chapters and I already love it so much. We haven't really gotten any interaction between the main male lead and the male female lead characters. I still am theater brained right now. We haven't gotten any interaction from them yet, but we have definitely set the stage for Harriet's friendships, and I think that's really, really important. And something Emily Henry has explored a little bit in her past books is friendship, but I think this one's going to dive into that the most, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get into the relationship of the main characters, and I'll keep y'all updated as I read, but right now I really just want to relax and kick back before this week of pacing miserably. So I'm gonna eat my poke and catch up with y'all later. Here is a little Monday evening update. So I hopped onto Sprints with Bookathon, boo. You know the one. I hopped onto Sprints on Kindle's channel. Hope and Keisha were also on. And even though I am not participating in that readathon, it's still really fun to hang out with everybody. And I have really enjoyed seeing everybody's posts. But I wanted to get some of Happy Place read. And I read from page 16 to page 64 during those sprints. And I really like this book so far. It feels a lot more tension heavy with the relationship or the non-relationship in this book than her other ones have. Because the whole premise of this book is that our main character, Harriet, is spending a week vacation with her best friends at the house that they have always gone to, which she has also always gone to with her ex-fiance, Wynn. However, Wynn has broken up with her, also shows up at this week-long vacation. But the catch is that none of their friends know that they're broken up, and they kind of just delayed telling them because they didn't want to cause conflict within their friend group, and then delaying telling them turned into just never telling them, and so nobody knows that they're not even a thing anymore. We know that I love a fake dating trope, and that's what we've got so far. But it's not fake dating for like convincing somebody else that you're in a happy relationship. It's fake dating to keep the peace when a relationship has ended, which is not a way that I've seen this trope used before. So I'm feeling like there's some tension. I'm feeling like there's some unanswered questions as to what went wrong in their relationship. And I'm curious to see where that goes. There are already several lines that I identify with a lot. Our main character, Harriet, is definitely a peacemaker. She's a type 9 like me, does not want to stir up conflict. There was a line I read, and it's not giving any spoilers. So here's the line. The point is, some people live the bulk of their lives in their minds. And I posted this on Instagram, but I have used a variation of that before when I've tried to explain myself and the way I interact with others, is that I live the majority of my life internally. And so obviously when I read this about Harriet, I clicked with her because I feel like we are soul sisters. We are kindred spirits. And I'm just excited to see where their story goes. And I feel like this book is going to explore female friendships a whole lot more than we've gotten to see in Emily Henry's other books, where the friends have just been side characters, whereas these friends are still just side characters, but they are very integral to the plot. She also has a lot of diversity within the friend group as far as body type and sexual orientation, and that's just refreshing to see an author bringing in a lot of diversity within a group of friends, because you can be friends with people who are different than you, and that's an important life lesson.
Can I get a large salted blondie hot and a banana muffin?
What was that one?
A banana muffin.
Okay, do you want it heated up?
Sure. I'll have a great day.
Hello. I am home from the first day of chaos, that is state testing. And it was truly a chaotic day. It was the first year in my 10 years of teaching that I had someone get sick during the state test. The child is fine. It's all good. But it was a stressful, oh my gosh moment. 3 hours long. 2 of the days are 3 hours long. So to make the time go by, my strategy was to count my steps. And every time I got to 1,000, I was allowed to look at the clock. And that gave me about 30 steps. I mean, not 30 steps. Wow, my brain is fried. That gave me about 30 minutes for every 1,000 steps. So I did that about 6 times. We're great. We're great. Tomorrow the test is a little bit shorter because it's the writing test, but one of the restaurants around here did a free meal for teachers today. So it's called Salad Station, and you could get up to a pound of salad for free. So I made myself a little like fiesta salad bowl with some spicy ranch and peppers and chicken and corn and pico de gallo, and this is going to be my dinner tonight, and it should be pretty fantastic. I am a little bummed because my delivery with my pre-order of The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros was supposed to get here today, but it was marked as delivered to the wrong city. So either there was a mistake made on the tracking end, or I'm not getting my book on time. So I'll update you later on that. That's kind of disappointing though, because even though I wasn't going to start it today, I was looking forward to having it today. But I'm going to eat my salad. Friends, it's Wednesday evening. Haven't had much time to vlog, obviously state testing and just being around students all day, but I'm not feeling 100% right now. I just started getting like really fatigued during our faculty meeting after school, and then when I got home I started coughing, and it's just been an evening. So it's only 7 o'clock, but I went ahead and showered and I got in bed. I am doing Liv's reading sprints that she has every Wednesday for her Patreon right now. I don't know that I'm going to make it very long, but I did want to get some Happy Place read. Also, my copy of Fourth Wing did make it in the mail today, so that's exciting. Hi friends, it's Thursday, and it's like noon. So I went into work today. We did our math state test. I'm a math teacher, so obviously it's like a high pressure day for me. And I could just feel myself declining as the morning went on. I think my body is like done. It's been doing too much for too many weeks, and it is just quitting on me. And so after I turned in all my testing materials, I found my administrator and I was like, I don't feel good. I'm going home. And that was cool with everybody. They got somebody to watch my classes, and I'm at home. Here's Kitten. She's 6. Her name is still Kitten. Film an update clip for Happy Place last night, but I wasn't happy with it. So I'm gonna film an update clip right now. So we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am currently on chapter 15, which is page 154, and I'm liking Happy Place. It does not have a hold on me like People We Meet on Vacation or Beach Read did. Book Lovers was not my favorite, and I know a ton of people adore Book Lovers like the most. And it's my least favorite of her so far, and I feel like this one is falling somewhere in the middle of my favorite two and Book Lovers. It's good. I think the setup for everything is just not what works for me with Emily Henry, because what I love from her is her pining and like the characters wanting each other so much, but feeling like there's something in the way of each other, and so they feel like they can't have each other. Here, it's like the reverse of all of that, because our characters have been engaged, and now they're forced together, and they're having to act like they still love each other. So it's like reverse pining. It's like fake pining, and they want to get away from each other as soon as possible. So like it has angst, but it's not the kind of angst that makes me root for them. And like I don't even know if I want them to be back together at this point. I do really like the friendship dynamic that we have going on, and I feel like there is some subtle like underlying drama going on between all the friends right now that we just don't know about yet. You can just see like these little hints of unrest between some of the friends. But I'm going to keep reading it. Obviously, I'm still liking it, and Emily Henry is a phenomenal writer. But I feel like right now this is sitting somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4-star, and not the 5-star that People We Meet on Vacation was. The other thing about Emily Henry is when you find one of her books that you relate to, you latch on to that book. And People We Meet on Vacation was so highly relatable to my life that I can't see another romance book taking its spot in my life. This one, I don't have anything to relate to, and so that might be what's pushing it down a little bit. I'm also reading this directly after Yours Truly, which was like highly relatable to me. And so like the comparison game that your brain just accidentally plays after you read another book is definitely going on. But right now, what I feel like doing is getting in the bed with some tea and shutting the world off for a little bit. I'll update y'all later. Good morning, friends. It's Friday morning. I decided to stay home from work today. I am feeling better. I'm just coughing like ridiculously at this point, and it's making my throat sore. And I figured it was probably better for me to stay home and recover than go to school and try and talk loud and make all of this worse. So I have currently got some yogurt with some berries that I'm gonna eat for breakfast. And I just did a Kroger order for some stuff I needed for tonight, but also for some NyQuil and Dayquil. So I know it's the middle of the morning, but I think I'm gonna take one of the NyQuil tabs and just let myself pass out for a little bit. And until then, I'm gonna read some more of Happy Place. And I know that there's some vlogs that I like to watch that come out on Fridays. So we're gonna take it easy this morning. When I wake up, depending on what time I wake up, I know I need to go get my sister-in-law her present for her birthday, and I need to put the dip that I'm making together for her birthday. I'm just trying to take care of the throat and the lungs and the breathing things, because that's what's bothering me right now.
Friday, July 7th through July 13th. This time around for Summerween, we do have 5 different prompts. So the first prompt is going to be to read a book in the dark or to read a book at night. This is...
Hey friends, it's many hours later. These are my friends right now. I'm just sucking on those whenever I get a chance. I read a couple more chapters of Happy Place, and there's a Ferris wheel scene that I did really like. So we're looking at bumping the rating up a little bit after that, especially if things start going the direction I think they're gonna go now. I also started listening to this book on audio while I was getting some cleaning done around the house. I just do like a deep clean of the room where I keep the litter box once a month, and even though I really didn't feel like doing it today, it was time to do it today. So I did that and just like mopped and vacuumed and stuff, and I went ahead and did my hair so that I can have an hour or so to just chill while the day cool kicks in. I did sleep like from, I don't know, 9 to noon. I took NyQuil this morning. I know that messes everything up, but it's the weekend, so my sleep schedule is gonna get messed up anyway. But in about an hour, I'm gonna start making the cheese dip for my sister-in-law's surprise party and head out there. I went ahead and did my hair so that my makeup won't take too long later. But I really just want to crash, so I'm just gonna crash and get happy in a happy place. All right, my friends, let's talk about the dip that I'm gonna make. So the first thing you need is some sausage, some sort of sausage. Usually I go for the hot sausage, and I say this like I've made it a ton. Me and my friend have made it a ton. This is my first time making it by myself. But anyway, they were out of hot sausage, so I just got some regular sausage. So I'm gonna put this in my Instant Pot and let it saute up, and then I add the rest of the stuff to it. All right, now after you have browned and drained the sausage, you wanna get some drained tomatoes. And these aren't drained, so I'm gonna go drain the rest of them really quick. They needed to be like double drained. Okay, and then you want 2 packs of cream cheese, and you're just gonna dump that in the pot. And then you just wanna take some shredded cheese and put in as much shredded cheese as your heart desires. And a little bit of garlic powder. So let me grab the garlic powder. We measure with our heart in our household, so just give it a shake. And you can always add more garlic powder later. So this is what we have right now. I'm about to put it on slow cook with the lid on it so that it can just start like melting and mixing together. And it doesn't look like much, but I promise you it is so stinking good. And then once it's all melted together, it should look something like this. You can see I didn't quite drain the tomatoes all the way, even though I desperately tried. And I might grab one more block of cream cheese on the way to the party just to give it some more substance, but it is so good. Happy Saturday morning, friends. If you're looking at me and thinking, she looks kind of rough this morning, you're not wrong. I look kind of rough this morning. Party last night was fun. I didn't stay for too terribly long. It was really fun. The dip was really good. The cake was really good. And she was surprised. I think I put a clip in of her being surprised. But it's about noon on Saturday, and it's hard to tell because I have a lot of natural lighting, but my power just went out, and it's not estimated to be back on until 7 p.m. And I was really looking forward to just staying in bed today. So because we have a drastic change of plans, I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to get a medicine ball tea. I'm going to sit there and finish my book and start editing this vlog. So it kind of sucks because really I just wanted to be in bed today, but here we go. Off to Starbucks.
home. The power's back on. The laundry is going. I got most of this video edited. What's going on with my head and chest and everything is coming and going. 1 second I feel fine, the next second I am coughing up my lungs. But I got home and had an Amazon box at my door, and I have not ordered anything. I think I might know who this is from because they messaged me on Instagram letting me know that my address was not showing up on my book wish list on Amazon. So Kindle, if this is from you, let's see. Oh, it is from Kindle. Thank you so much. And it's a copy of The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten, which I read through my library earlier this year, but I loved it so much I wanted a copy on it, so I put it on my wish list, and it's so pretty. And I'm really looking forward to when she writes the sequel to this, and I wanted a copy for my shelves, so Kindle, thank you so much. Heather, did you really start this vlog in your Taylor Swift shirt and you're ending it in your Taylor Swift shirt? Yes, yes. I will wear it as often as I can. Yesterday was the day, no, 2 days ago was the day that I could have been in Nashville seeing Taylor Swift, and I was not. Also, I don't know if you can tell by my voice, I definitely can hear it, but I sound terrible. I've gone back and forth between feeling okay and feeling bad. This morning, Sunday morning, I woke up and the consensus is that I'm feeling pretty bad. My throat's sore and I'm coughing and I just have drainage. So we're trying to get through this. I put on makeup. You're welcome, because y'all have been watching me without makeup like all week, and I know it doesn't matter, but it kind of makes me feel better to put it on. So it's on my face now. But to wrap this vlog up, I finished Happy Place last night. And I don't know if I showed y'all, but I do have a signed copy of Happy Place with the immaculate signature of Miss Emily Henry herself on the inside. I'm so happy my local bookstore is able to get signed copies like this. But let's talk about it, because my thoughts have been up and down. This week, at the beginning of the week when I first started it, I was definitely enjoying it. I was enjoying the friendship aspect. I was enjoying the potential setup and the fact that it seemed to focus around a character who didn't want to disrupt the peace. And that held true throughout the whole book. And that was something I really appreciated. But the first half of the relationship between the leading characters, I didn't love, because I felt like it didn't do what Emily Henry does so well, which is the pining for somebody that you are so interested in and so invested in, but you've never known what it's like to be with them. And that was just not true for these characters, because they've been together almost a decade and then broke up. So I was just missing what I thought in my brain she did so well. But then the second half of the book happened, and my opinion shifted dramatically, because it was sitting at somewhere around like a 3.5 for me for the first half of the book. But then for the second half of the book, we discover what went wrong in their relationship, and it spoke to me on a very deep and very personal level, because we go into a whole lot of things that can go into what makes a relationship work. And I related so much to Harriet. I'm trying not to give spoilers, but if I do, I'll put a little spoiler bar down here, because I told you guys that the whole premise of the book is that she wants to keep the peace. She doesn't want to tell her friends, who have basically built a friendship on the people who are in the friend group, and that includes her and her ex-fiance. She doesn't want to be like, hey, we split up and now we have to choose favorites, and now it's going to change the whole dynamic of us when we're together, because either I'm not going to be here or Wynn's not going to be here, or we'll both be here and it'll be awkward and it'll be full of tension and nobody will have fun. She brought the same dynamic of wanting to be a peacemaker into her relationship with Wynn. Whew, okay, I'm definitely putting a spoiler tag right here. So, warning, spoiler coming up. So we dive into Harriet's backstory with her parents, who stayed together for years and years and years, but never loved each other. And her house was full of fighting between the parents, fighting between the parents and her older sister. And she constantly felt like she had to be the one to sit down and be like, hey, we all need to get along, because she was so afraid of people leaving or the dynamic of her family changing and shifting. All she's ever known about how to have a fight or how to have an argument has been people fight and then they leave. Or people fight and then if somebody doesn't step in, things are going to change. With her relationship with Wynn, that was also true. She just chose not to fight and not to bring up the big picture discussions with Wynn that she needed to, because she saw so much turmoil going on in Wynn's life because of things that he was dealing with. She thought it was better for their relationship to just be stoic, to just not show emotion, and to just let him have his space to deal with it and learn, instead of emotionally investing in what was going on in Wynn's life. And by doing that, without meaning to, she pushed him away. Hi, it's me. I'm Harriet. It's me. Since we're still in a spoiler talk, I'm going to flip to a page that I read last night and I immediately shared in the spoiler discussion group because it was me. As I don't know how fights are supposed to end when you love the person you're fighting with. In my family, everyone always left when things got bad. Eloise would storm out, or my parents would send her to my room and then go shut themselves on opposite sides of the house, and things never got better afterward. They always felt a little worse. And I guess I thought if I kept us from ever fighting, then everyone would stay. I was never trying to cut anyone out. It was the exact opposite, and I haven't been fun to be around in a long time, Cleo. She does it again. I went through the first half of this book not thinking I was going to relate to it, and then the second half hit me with a brutal punch, and I changed my rating from somewhere between a 3.5 to a 4. I still don't think it's my favorite in him. Will always be People We Meet on Vacation. I don't see how anything could ever top People We Meet on Vacation for me. It's People We Meet on Vacation, beach read, happy place, book lovers. And I know I am like the exact opposite of a lot of people. So many people think Book Lovers is the best, and it just wasn't her best for me. But all of her books are 4 stars and up for me. So her best is great and her worst is good. So I mean, I can't complain about any of my reading experiences with Emily Henry. I do want to reread this one day, probably on audio, and tab it as I go, because it's taken me forever to find the quotes that I need when I need to share them. But if you watch this whole video of me progressively getting sicker and sicker and complaining about state testing and reading Happy Place, why don't you leave anything that has to do with like a summer vacation, so a beach ball or waves or sunshine, in the comments as this week's emoji. But thank you so much for watching. I don't think I'm going to be vlogging next week because I want to focus on recovering, and sometimes picking up a camera when you feel sick is like the worst thing ever. But I do have some more videos coming this week, so keep an eye out for those. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this bookish content, and I will see you in a future video.